This evening's recipe is a prawn biryani. What are we thinking? Like biryani?
Love biryani, but at the same time, you know, biryani is obviously layers of rice.
Yep.
You want to have enough spice so it's a curry, but not so much that you can't taste the prawns. And of course, prawns are easy to overcook. So even though delicious, knockout, it's probably really hard to get right.
No pressure. We're going to do a few cheats, but I'm pretty sure we can.
No, I trust
something.
you boys. I'm sure you guys are going to kill it, even me.
We'll crack on.
You take care. Good luck.
Ben, I'm now really nervous. Are we going to be all right?
We're going to be absolutely fine. This is our version of a prawn biryani. Lots of spices, but so they perfectly blend together. To start with, rice. Stick the whole lot in. Wipe it onto the floor, just don't let Jamie see. With all that rice in there, that gives us about 9 minutes to do our other flavours and filling. Okay, so basmati rice, normally 10, 11 minutes. We'll do it for a little bit less. It's going to go in the oven and we don't want to overcook it. So next up, we're going to take ginger, garlic and onion, peel and finely dice all of those, then fry them in a shot of oil with a handful of cashew nuts. While we leave those to sweat off, we can talk about our spices. Now, we've got lots of them. You all right?
No, I'm not all right. That was a really strong onion.
It's worth it. This is going to be worth the tears. Can I talk to you about spices, Jamie? Because there's lots of them, but we only ever use a few at a time. 3 of those, they're cloves.
That's 4.
We've got some cardamom pods, 3 of those. Really, all right, we'll put some around there and we'll put some back in there. Is that all right?
Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. Next up, some star anise, a couple of those.
That's 2.
Then some bay leaves, a couple of those. 1 cinnamon stick, a teaspoon of fennel seeds, and a teaspoon of turmeric. And we can add these to our onion, cashew nut, ginger and garlic.
Yep.
Next up is sweetness in the form of some sultanas.
Love sultanas.
And some raw prawns, which as you cook them, prawns are naturally very, very sweet. Okay?
Would you say?
I think so. As we cook them off, we don't want to overcook. Jamie said they were sweet as well.
Oh, Jamie said they were sweet. Oh, I must believe him. He's never said prawns are sweet before. Never. And then Jamie strolls into the kitchen, says, prawns are sweet? Yeah, they're great. Right? And suddenly, Ben's saying it.
Now the last thing we want are rubber bullets. We're not going to overcook those prawns just until they're almost cooked in the middle, because by the time we put them through the oven, they'll carry on cooking.
You've got some very weird metaphors.
Right, now for our sultanas. A
Yes.
good handful of those. In the time it's taken us to cook those prawns, we can now drain our rice. We don't want this overcooked. It's nothing worse than a sloppy biryani. So drain that off and leave it to dry out. Knob of butter, a few sprigs of fresh coriander. And look, now the smells, the colours, the textures, all the flavours in those prawns. Now at this point, it's about layering them up.
Did Jamie say that as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. It's just you've not mentioned to me about layering up a biryani.
This is something I picked up in Goa, and that is where this dish has been inspired from.
Cool. So nothing to do with what Jamie mentioned when he was here earlier about, you know, getting the layers right.
No, he pointed it out, but it was something that we were planning to do anyway.
Well, I'm just checking. I don't want it to come across like you're just copying everything that Jamie said.
No, far from.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
More prawns. Now you can fish out the big bits like the star anise because no one wants to chew on those, but if a couple of bay leaves end up in there, not a problem.
Would you say this is a difficult dish or an easy dish?
How have you found it so far?
I haven't done anything. I chopped an onion, I cried a little bit, and then I bullied you.
So pretty easy then.
Pretty easy so far.
And then the final thing to do is to grab 2 spoons and just give it one kind of final mix up.
So you want to keep the layers?
You want to keep the layers, but just begin to mix them. Then at that point, it goes into an oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes until it's really, really light and fluffy.
Sure.
And while we're waiting for that to cook out, we can do something else that's really sweet, some caramelised red onions.
Yes.
We're going to slice them up and just cook them very, very slowly in a little bit of oil, slight bit of salt and pepper until they're really sweet. And they cook in their own sugars. When we come back to it, it'll be almost like a caramelised marmalade.
Lovely.
There we go. Awesome biryani. Finish it with some of those caramelised, almost marmalade-like red onions. More fresh coriander, some chilli as well. And that is an awesome Goan prawn biryani. Dig in, grab a fork. I've got mine.
You're going to have to be the official Jamie tester. Right, so prawns. They're sweet.
Not overcooked.
No. I really love that mix of the sweet. You get a bit of a spice, but it's not hot.
You can add more chilli if you want, not particularly hot.
Oh, I love that. That's really cool. And those caramelised onions on the top just, well, they're on the top, let's top it off. Have you subscribed to Jamie's FOODTUBE yet? If not, click up there. And if you want all the recipe and ingredients for this dish, make sure you head to sortedfood.com.
Sorted.